Hi, my name is Gerard Ungerman. I'm with the Respect for Revolution project, and today I invite you to compare my Harley Sportster 883 Custom with the new Honda Rebel 500. The Rebel is a smaller bike, obviously, but it comes with a proven engine that gives up to 70 miles per gallon. It's a very attractive feature for me. And so, could I possibly do the same thing as I do with my Sportster with the Rebel? Let's find out. Some of you at least out there may be familiar with my traveling around the country for the Respect for Revolution project with my Harley Sportster 883. I gather stories of people doing good for society, nature and the world all around the country, and I do it on my Sportster because it's an adventure. I love traveling, on a motorcycle, and to me, fuel efficiency is a big thing. Now, sponsorship is an option for us, and some companies are very into fuel efficiency, and one in particular is Honda. I like Honda. It's a very good company anyway. They do a lot for benefaction around the world, and they also have introduced some extremely fuel efficient engines, and we have here the fairly new Honda Rebel 500 that comes with now a proven 500cc engine that you find on the CB500X, for instance, and a friend of mine has been crisscrossing the country and put already an incredible amount of miles on their bike, and the engine is solid. So 500, hey, maybe after all, maybe it's possible. And this engine gives somewhere around 70 miles per gallon, could even be more if you're very careful with how you ride your bike, which I am, because I care about fuel efficiency and saving the little money I have. It's part of how I survive doing it. So we are going to look at this new Honda Rebel motorcycle from the standpoint, could I possibly use this new Honda Rebel 500 as I am using my Harley Sportster 883? Could the bike give me the same amount of cargo space? Could it give me the same amount of comfort? I'm intrigued, and I want to look into it. One of the deal breaker, possibly, would be the capacity, the cargo capacity of the bike. Can I carry as much with the Rebel as I can with the Sportster? And again, many people think that you cannot carry anything with the Sportster. And you see, I have a big tea bag here. I have pretty large saddlebags. So I've proven that it's possible to travel up to 4 months at a time with a Harley Sportster properly outfitted with no problem. The bag I have over there is about 20-21 inches long. So a luggage rack, say if I was putting a 20-inch rack, that would put me kind of around here, so kind of flush with the tail light here, maybe slightly past the tail light. It's possible. I mean, it's doable. It's not monstrous. I have saddlebags made by friends at Leatherworks in Stockton, so not too far from our hometown of Chico. We like as much as we can to support local businesses, especially when they do very nice work. And Leatherworks does fantastic luggage. You can see these bags here. I'm in love with these bags. I would possibly want to have them create for the Rebel a set of bags that would be customized using the shape created by the suspensions. On the Sportster, currently we are talking about bags which are 17 inches long by about 13 deep, with a caveat that there's also a tunnel in these bags that eat up a bit of space to accommodate the shocks on the bike. I think what we would want to do in this particular case is put slanted bags that would bypass the shocks, and in this particular case, between here and here, we are looking at, say, just about 17 inches, so same thing. Of course, there's the exhaust on the other side, and even if I want to put some smaller lower profile exhaust still. I want to stay clear enough of the exhaust and say if I had 13 inches tall bags, I think I would be able to clear a lower exhaust. And I've seen some online. Some people have been customizing exhaust like this, so I think it should be possible. And even if it's 12 inches, it would be perfect, considering again that I would not have a tunnel like I have in the Sportster bag. So I think it's doable. As far as installing a Corbin seat on the Rebel, like I have on my Sportster, because they're just so comfortable. Here we're talking about a space of roughly 17 inches. So I think it would be absolutely, a no-brainer at all to have a larger seat. And again, we don't have yet the option of bringing in a larger tank on this bike. Maybe we'll have it in the future, but it's not a concern at this point at all. So I think the seat-wise, we would be covered. All right, so I'm gonna go on a little comparison ride. Not that I don't know my Sportster like the back of my hand, obviously, but I will take the same road, do the same things, and tell you how the Rebel compares with the Sportster. All right. Let's give it a try. See you later. All right, so Rebel 500, Sportster 883, verdict. Well, of course, I have to be fair. I've ridden the Sportster now for about 5 years. It's equipped exactly the way I want it to be, so it gives me exactly what I'm looking for. The right amount of power, the right comfort, the right cargo capacity. I love it. The Rebel here, well, it's fresh from the factory. So of course, you know, it doesn't have the accessories that would make it comfortable as I want to. But at least I can judge it by its engine. It's a very good engine. It gives me exactly what I'm looking for. Today I pushed it at 65 and it felt really, really good. And you could feel that there was plenty of power left. So I think the bike has potential. Would I give it a try? I think if we manage to create a partnership with Honda, I would give it a try for sure. And I'm actually already excited to see what we can do with this bike in terms of customization. All right, so we have Gabe Egan from Honda Chico Motorsports with us, and we are going to see what we can do to the Honda Rebel 500 in order to make it similar to my own Sportster. So Gabe, thank you very much for giving some of your time
No
for
problem.
that. And so again, what I would like to look at now is at what you think we could do to bring the Rebel on par with the Sportster as I have it customized. Let's start from the front of the bike and then let's make our way to the back of the bike. In particular here, the thing I think that's very important when you travel is to have a good windshield, a good wind deflection.
On a long ride, you're looking for, you know, something that's going to take the pressure off of your head and your body. So Memphis Shades makes a full windscreen for this that comes down up and around here and widens out over here. So when you're sitting down on this bike, you're going to be fully protected from the wind, which will make your long trips much better. You can get a little tinted windscreen if you'd like, or you can get clear or wide, narrow, depending on how much flow you need on your ride.
All right, so the next thing, I have this lean bar, crash bar on the bike. I kind of like them because you can put your foot on them, but I guess you can also attach different types of foot peg on any bar. Is this something that you can also put on the Rebel?
Yes, it is. I've just recently done some research. This is a new model that's just come out, so every day there's new products coming out for these, but I was able to track one down that bolts onto the bottom of this frame mount and this motor mount, and it curves up and out and over and into and mounts on the frame in here. And what I think you'll be able to do is mount a clamp-on foot peg anywhere on that bar that you can rest the back of your heel or rest the tip of your toes to stretch out along a long ride. So I think that'll help out with comfort on this bike. I think floorboards would be a good option because they would use the same mount as this foot peg here, and they come with their own shifter. So you'd be able to mount the floorboard here, and so the rear of the floorboard would be where this peg is, and the front would be here. And then you could get a heel toe shifter that hooks into the linkage here, and so you could move your feet forward and back depending on where you'd like them, or to move your knees, and then still be able to shift with the elongated shifter up front on the floorboard.
Cool. All right. So the next thing, I need a bar that allows me to have a bit more reach up and further back. What do you think we could do for the Rebel?
There's quite a few bar companies out there that you can get a bar by spec. So basically on this one, you wouldn't want to go more than 4 or 5 inch rise with these without having to change all of your cables over. But I think for you, what you're going to need is, I think 4 or 5 inches will be plenty. So it'll bring the bike from here to about here, 4 or 5 inches, and it'll have you can slide the handlebars back in the clamps and get it back to where your body is comfortable with your own, the length of your own arms. So you can customize the pullback on the bars without having to change the cables. We've already had people do that, and we didn't have to change any of the stock cables, which when you have to do that, the price gets pretty high. So this will keep the price down on that. So that would be the solution there.
Cool. What do you think can be done to the exhaust to free some space for saddlebags?
Aftermarket exhaust on this particular machine, they make a much lower profile, smaller, exhaust, and it gives it a kind of a more throaty of a sound, a deeper sound, which is very pleasant to listen to, but without being too loud. And what it does is the size of the circumference of this exhaust will be much smaller, giving you more room for your saddlebag on top. Two Brothers makes a slip-on exhaust, and I think there's 2 or 3 more options out there. You can kind of pick the one that best fits the luggage that you're planning to put on your machine.
Cool. And since we are here, let's talk about maybe the next thing. How about suspensions? I'm thinking that just like what I did on the Sportster over there, the very first thing I had to do to give it the extra cushiness that the Sportster doesn't have factory is putting progressive suspensions front and back. What could we do here, both to add to the cushiness and maybe even to raise slightly the bike?
Progressive suspension, they've been around a long time, and they specialize in the dual shock models. I think that would be a great option to put on here. There's not a lot of adjustability in the Honda shock. I think the Progressive has a little bit more adjustability and customizing capabilities. So if you're doing long rides and you're going to be in the saddle, I would recommend setting the suspension up for you personally, especially with you putting a lot of, it'll be like you have a passenger on this bike most of the time. And when that's the case, you kind of need to set up your suspension accordingly. And I think having the heavier duty, more plush suspension for that would be great. Another option too is Racetech Suspension Center. We're a Racetech Suspension Center, but Racetech also offers custom shocks for these types of motorcycles as well. So there's more than one option out there for you.
So as a conclusion, do you feel personally confident that the Rebel could be a more economical alternative to the Sportster for somebody who travels far and has economy in mind?
I truly do believe that. This engine was built for economy, shaving off the weight, using less moving parts that can wear out. This machine was built to last, and even though it's a smaller displacement, it's still got plenty of power to get you around on a long distance. I think for a very affordable dollar amount, you can make this bike ready for the long distance and open road.
Considering that Honda is a very good company, they do a lot for education in developing countries, they do a lot for safety, they have a lot of programs to protect the environment. So it's a company that I would be honored and very glad to be aligned with and to promote by using their product, here, the Honda Rebel 500. So, all right, that's it for me today. We'll see where it goes. We'll see if we manage to secure a partnership with Honda. At least we have a good rapport and a developing friendship with Gabe Hagen here at Chico Honda Motorsports in Chico, California. Thank you for watching, and until next time, thank you.